but let's wait and see. It's only lap 1 of 29 that's completed now. Let's start lap 2. Here comes Verstappen and Perez, those two extremely fast Red Bulls heading into T1. It's 3-1 between myself, Perez, and Verstappen. We go a little bit deep because we were late on the break to try and defend the lead. Perez still sticks in P2 behind me, and Verstappen must be pulling his hair out of his head because it must be frustrating. Hello guys, Turbocharged 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, welcome back to TurboFox Racers, welcome back to F1 23, and welcome to the start of F1 23 career mode. Let's go, boy! Guys, I'm so excited. You guys know the first 2 videos I've uploaded of this game. It just feels so good. I can't wait to get back into the action of F1 23. It's going to be so freaking damn good. Guys, you guys can check the calendar out on the screen right now. 16 races. We're starting off at the Bahrain International Circuit. Then we're heading towards Albert Park in Australia. After that, for round 3, we're going to my favorite track, the Baku City Street Circuit in Azerbaijan. After that, we've got a big break all the way to the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. From there, we head towards Austria for to the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. Then it's Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, the Hungara for the Hungarian Grand Prix, the Circuit de France for Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. Then we're going to Max's home at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. And as soon as I start going down, you guys are going to see the rest of the calendar. But that is all the way up until round 9. Now, guys, first of all, I know on the previous game I did a career mode. I understand that. And it was a road to glory. The only problem is, yeah, like I said in my my first 2 videos, which I very detailedly explained, I didn't want to play F1 22 because it was such a terrible game on a controller. So we're starting fresh, we're starting new, but don't you worry, the road to glory idea is not something of the past, just so by the way. I haven't forgotten that Williams team, and I also won't. But after that, guys, I actually didn't get to it now, but you guys saw the little flags in the top right of the screen for the rest of the calendar. It's going to be an entertaining calendar, and I can't wait. But the question is, who are we going to sign for? Obviously, I had the thought of continuing the road to glory, but we needed a fresh start, and we are going to try and dethrone Red Bull.
We'll go back and edit anything we've done so far, and we'll come back here at the start of each season. But if you're ready to go, hit advance to head to Team HQ, and we can start our push to the top of Formula 1.
There we go, guys. So we are driving for Cognizant Aramco Aston Martin Formula 1 team alongside my hero, Fernando Alonso. And guys, there's a reason for this. You guys know, since Alonso came back in, 2021? Like, 2021, 22, and now 23. Well, for 21 and 22, I've always tried to drive alongside Fernando, but he always retires too early in the game. So this time I just decided, you know what, screw it. We're in a reasonably front-running car. We can now try and fight for this championship together. And guys, look at Fernando. He's got a 97 overall rating. The only 2 AI drivers that I think that I have the knowledge of that who can be better is Hamilton and Verstappen. That's the only 2 I think have a better overall. But Fernando's overall, a 97? Are you kidding me? It's insane. But let's get back to the actual video before I rant on about Fernando, which I am able to do for the rest of the video. So guys, we've got 1,200 resource points to buy some upgrades. Now, as you guys can see, currently Aston Martin are the 3rd quickest car behind Red Bull, and Ferrari. Mercedes are 4th, but these first upgrades are gonna be a big difference towards how the rest of the season is gonna pan out. So guys, I'm gonna be rushing in upgrades like you wouldn't believe. I'm going to be rushing them like what is like a pep special. They need to go out, Baba. They need to, well, in this case, they need to come onto the car. They need to come onto the car, otherwise we got problem. We got big problem. So yes. So guys, first of all, I want to thank you for coming back and tuning into the video. Please make sure to drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you a nifty 2 seconds. And remember to go check out the links in the description down below. So guys, it's now time for the car reveal. Let's look at this beautiful, gorgeous thing. And oh my word, Cody's have changed the intro for a new car release. This looks so much better than F1 2021 and 22. Like, oh my goodness. The close-ups, the lighting, oh, that's so good. That is so damn good. I love that. I absolutely love that. That is freaking brilliant. That is brilliant. So that has just given my you guys know the emoji that you get on like on WhatsApp, the little circle face with the hearts for eyes. Yeah, that is what happened to me now when I saw the reveal of that car. It looks so good. That deserves your like. But further on, so you guys can see now, the car's been revealed. We've still got 600 resource points left now that, well, we've gained 400 now with the latest weekly resources that have come in. So we can buy another upgrade. And guys, I'm going for rear downforce. So I'm going for the beam wing on the rear because already Mercedes have passed us. Obviously, Mercedes have got much better facilities. They can upgrade quicker and their upgrades can come onto the cars quicker. So we are in a direct race with Mercedes and Ferrari. And when we can actually start running away from them, or at least I think walking away, we can start focusing on Red Bull.
We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Thank you very much. But guys, at this stage, it is about getting ahead of Mercedes and Ferrari and then focusing on Red Bull, because our current battle from the start, I can guarantee you guys, is going to be against Mercedes and Ferrari, maybe even Alpine and McLaren. You guys know in last year's game, McLaren upgraded stupidly quick and Alpine are not too far behind. So there's a big possibility that McLaren and Alpine can catch up very quickly, and we need to be awake when it comes to that. So you guys can see I'm throwing upgrades on the car like no one's mommy. So what do they call Rhea Ripley in racing now? Mammy? Well, no, mommy. So yeah, I'm throwing on upgrades like no one's mommy so that we can get this car ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix with as much improvement as possible. You guys can see Red Bull are leaps and bounds ahead of anyone else. I mean, look at the performance index. So we are like a pixel above Mercedes. Then you have Ferrari. Then Red Bull are leading the way by like 50 performance points, which at this stage of the career mode, the beginning, is a lot. Then you, like you see, guys, you saw Mercedes P4. Alpine is P5, but the gap between, us, Mercedes, and Ferrari, and to Alpine is a little bit bigger than I thought, so they might not be as much of a threat, but you never know how quickly the upgrades are going to come in for McLaren and Alpine. So then you've got Williams in P6. Well done, boys. You guys are carrying on my momentum from F1 22. Then you've got Alfa Romeo kick. I didn't like that kick at the end. It just sounds silly, but Alfa Romeo kick is in P7, Haas P8, McLaren P9, and the baby Red Bull team, AlphaTauri, is currently your slowest car on the grid, according to the performance index. Now, guys,
hello and welcome back finally to the hustle and bustle of Formula One. The F1 2023 World Championship is about to get underway. We cannot wait to get started. Last season saw the biggest raft of regulation changes in years, and we're excited to see more of that wheel-to-wheel racing. The big question is, though, can anyone challenge the dominance of Max Verstappen and Red Bull? Well, all the teams have been working so hard to get ahead in the development race, looking not only at their own car, but those of their competitors. Thousands of engineers working hard back at the factory. We come to the racetrack and we focus on the 20 drivers at the pinnacle of motorsport. But it's important to remember this is very much a team game, and watching that technical battle unfold throughout the year will be fascinating as everyone looks to get to grips with these new regulations. Meanwhile, the F1 World Tour features all the classic highlights. Monaco, Silverstone, Singapore. Great to see all those iconic tracks back, but also a few surprises. Qatar is back after a year away, and the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix. The glitz and glamour of Vegas, flat out down the world-famous strip. I know all the drivers have been so excited about this one ever since it was announced. Okay, that is enough from me. Let's get cracking with the action.
Okay, mate, we've done millions of miles in the simulator pre-season, but this is where we get the real data from the real car on the real racetrack. So as many miles as you can get done consistently over these sessions, the happier we're going to be.
That is going to be the idea, guys. So, guys, obviously practice is not something you guys are going to be seeing at all, except for the first video, just so you guys can see the first time I turn the wheel on the game in career mode. But other than that, you guys are here for qualifying, the sprint races and the real races. So that is what you guys are here for, so don't worry about practice. That is my problemo off camera. But obviously you guys haven't seen much of the game yet on my channel, so obviously this is a little bit of extra content. So heading into this just this practice session, guys, it was just me getting used to the new handling engine of the game on the new track. You guys know Bahrain has grown for me over the past few F1 games. I used to hate this track, and in recent years this track has grown on me, so it's a fun track for me to drive. So I am excited to drive this track, but you guys can just keep an eye on the screen and yeah, just appreciate this beautifully made game. It is so damn good. But guys, obviously heading in towards this episode now, obviously the performance index, like you guys know by now if you have watched other content creators, F1 content, or even just mine, you guys will know that the performance index, that chart that we looked at with the little lines, if you are new to the channel, that doesn't always exactly represent the actual pace of the car. Sometimes it can be swapped around because certain teams' cars have their strengths and weaknesses. So we don't know exactly where, especially the tight battle between us and Aston Martin, Mercedes and Ferrari. We don't know exactly where those 6 cars are going to be. We know Red Bull are the 2 cars to beat. But when it comes to one lap pace, Ferrari might still, like in real life, they might have a stupid quick car, but not very good in race pace. We might have a decent car in qualifying, but a super good race pace car. We do not know. We do not know. So qualifying is going to be very revealing for the start of the season, as well as this is a very proper racetrack, so it's going to reveal a lot about the cars. We might have some differences with the next race in Australia, but we can't focus on Australia right now. The Bahrain Grand Prix is where we need to be, where the action is going to be, where everything is going to be. So let's get this done so you guys can just quickly see here my out lap. I think I put in my fastest lap in practice one for you guys as well, just so you guys can see it. This was just me doing the race program. Oh yeah, yes, it's the end of my fastest lap in practice. I stayed on the hards for almost the whole practice. You can easily do all the practice programs, unless you have a qualifying program to run. You can do all your programs on the hards, and it makes it a tiny bit easier and actually a lot more enjoyable, because you learn how the car feels with the least grippy tire, which I feel is always an advantage. So you guys can see here I am basically a second up on my time. I messed up the final corner a bit, but nothing too crazy. So we come across the line and our fastest time was a 1:31.6, which I feel wasn't too bad.
Stopping this lap.
Thank you very much, Mark. I almost said Carl. Why did I want to say Carl? But in any case, so guys, this is a few upgrades that I'm going to do after all the practice has been done. Obviously, that's how you earn resource points. Fernando didn't really pull his weight much for this first race weekend, which was a bit concerning. But we're doing some upgrades. Obviously, straight line speed in this year's game is a big thing. Tire wear is a big thing. So when it comes to the chassis, I really want to focus on tire wear a lot, because in the first video that I released to you guys, the Las Vegas and Qatar review video, basically, I very quickly realized after 30 to 35%, the tires drop off massively. So tire wear is going to be a big thing in career mode. It's really going to be a massive thing in career mode. So it's something that we're definitely going to have to focus on, and something that we're going to have to be very keen on. Otherwise, we are going to have problems. And then other than that, straight line speed, I think, is going to be a big thing in this year's game, especially with tracks like Las Vegas, Baku, and all these funky, beautiful things. Oh, and then on top of that, there's just so much that we're going to have to do, but those are the 2 main areas of upgrades that I really want to focus on.
Okay, we seem to be having a few software issues at the moment. Sit tight for a few minutes while we reboot some things, okay?
And in typical Fernando Alonso bad luck, we get hit with a problem at the end of Q1. But guys, it only took one run in qualifying for me to get through. I just waited till the end then. Did my one run, myself and Fernando are through. Your 5 drivers who are out are Piastri, Zhou, Tsunoda, De Vries, and Sargent. Logie Sarge is out. That is very much the sadness. But the rest are all through. We now head into Q2, as you guys are going to see the end of my first lap on the scrubbed set of tires that I used to set my lap in Q1 on. So we open up DRS, come across the line, and we do a 1 minute 30.6, which is not a bad lap at all, considering these tires are scrubbed. But obviously at the end of Q2, we've got a fresh set on. And you guys can see starting sector 2, I'm already almost 3/10 up on my time. But guys, these cars, that little S section at the start of sector 2 feels so damn good in these cars. Like, oh, I am in love. By the end of the lap, we are 8/10 up on our time. We open up DRS across the line, and we get ourselves up into P3. Alonso P6. But guys, look at, okay, the 2 Ferraris definitely showed up. Holy moly. But I'm sure those Red Bulls aren't running at max capacity yet. But guys, the big thing in Q2, Lewis Hamilton for Mercedes, one of our biggest rivals for this first half of the season at least, is out in Q1. The drivers out with him is Hulkenberg, Bottas, Albon, and Gasly. But I mean, we've got one less car to worry about now. Russell, the second Mercedes, is obviously there, and then the 2 Ferraris, and then obviously there's my teammate Fernando. But that is massive for Q1, for Q2, that Hamilton is out. Like, that honestly flabbergasted me. We get to the end of our first lap in Q2, obviously once again, scrubbed set of tires, and we are currently in P8. So that is now, well, at the end, well, as we start our final lap, we are 8th. And guys, the Aston feels good, but if I compare it to, obviously in qualifying you can watch like the like, not the onboards, but like watch the other cars go, and I could even see Fernando having a few like squiggly moments. So we've got some work to do. We've definitely got some work to do. But the Red Bulls look so damn planted. They look like they're on rails. That is definitely going to be the benchmark. But guys, let's just commentate on this a little bit of the lap. Heading into the middle part of this middle sector as we get onto the backstretch, the very tight downhill left-hander. Open up the throttle and open up DRS as we go down the backstretch. Heading into another one of these S sections with these cars that feel so amazing. A little bit of a broadcast shot so you guys can actually see me absolutely wringing the neck out of this British Racing Green Aston Martin. Here we go through this next corner. As we go out of the corner, we plant the throttle. Obviously, Hot Lap is engaged on our ERS, and now we head down this last little bit where Charles Leclerc had heartbreak back in 2019. Down to third gear to the final corner, short shift to fourth. Put your foot down as early as humanly possible. It's purple middle sector for us. 1 second gained, DRS open, and we are in P.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Perez, O'Connor, and Max Verstappen. Goodbye for now then, but really we're just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow. No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit, with the best, of course, at turn 1, and then another soon after into turn 4. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and we could see 1 or 2 flat spots into that tight left-hander of turn 10. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, and O'Connor completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Ocon, Gasly, Albon, Bottas, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Oscar Piastri, Zhou, Tsunoda, De Vries, and Logan Sargent. And now it's time to head down to the track. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as once again we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Guys, for our first race on F1 22, we've outqualified one of the two Red Bulls, and it's Verstappen of all of them. Front row of the grid alongside Sergio Perez. And guys, it's such a shuffled up grid. This is honestly just damn insane. Like, oh my great goodness. I did not think we were going to get a front row because I didn't feel the Aston space was that strong, to be honest with you guys. I didn't think that we're going to be this high up the grid, but I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not going to lie to you. Guys, I'm going to go for the two-stop strategy. I think that would be the smart way to go, going from softs to two sets of mediums. I'm quickly looking at the race director, and I'm not the only one that thinks the softs are going to be the best tire to start on for this Bahrain Grand Prix. So anything and everything can happen. Everybody is either on softs or mediums, but the pole sitter Perez is with me on starting on the softs. Have we made a mistake, or is this the right choice?
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway and the track temperature looks warm. That may or may not play into some of the team's hands in today's race. So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. But the question I'm asking is which teams have got it right, which ones have got it horribly wrong?
Guys, look at this. Myself and Sergio Perez pulling up to the front row of the grid. Hopefully this is scenes of what still needs to come this season. Guys, I'm going to be honest, I don't think we're going to be fighting for the championship in Season 1. Red Bull are actually very far ahead, and I think their race pace is going to be shown today, but we will only realize as this race unfolds. But guys, we head to 5 red lights, and it's go, go, go for the Bahrain Grand Prix, Episode 1 on F1 23. Heading into the first corner. It was an awesome launch from Max Verstappen in the second Red Bull. We are trying to go side by side with Sergio Perez. We are up the inside. Perez is in a sandwich. The Mercedes of George Russell is coming from behind. My teammate Alonso had a wicked start from P8. He's up into P5, battling the two Ferraris. Side by side for Perez and Verstappen, heading down the first little back straight. Perez is later on the brakes than his teammate Max on those soft tires. They've got more grip. You can brake a little bit later. So it's us leading the way from Perez, Verstappen, Russell, Alonso. Then I think it's Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, and then behind them it's the McLaren of Lando Norris, followed by the Williams of Alexander Albon. And rounding out your top 10 is Esteban Ocon in the Alpine. Lewis Hamilton also had a beautiful start, and he's battling with Kevin Magnussen currently for P11. So from P14 plus minus P11, P12, that is where Hamilton is sitting. But here we go, down the backstretch for the first time. And guys, one thing that I realized immediately, the Red Bulls have insane straight line speed like they do in real life. It is almost as if, like Alonso said back in, 2016, GP2 engine. That is how everyone feels against the Red Bulls in a straight line. They are wicked fast in a straight line, but that is not what we're worried about. We need to focus on it and getting at least a top 5 in this race. I don't think a top 2 is going to be possible, but from P3 downwards is always going to be open. But I don't think there's going to be many other drivers following the 2-stop like we are going to be doing. But let's wait and see. It's only lap 1 of 29 that's completed now. Let's start lap 2. Here comes Verstappen and Perez, those two extremely fast Red Bulls heading into T1. It's 3-1 between myself, Perez, and Verstappen. We go a little bit deep because we were late on the break to try and defend the lead. Perez still sticks in P2 behind me, and Verstappen must be pulling his hair out of his head, because it must be frustrating to be the quicker car of the two Red Bulls and to be stuck behind your teammate and a slower Aston Martin. We now look on board with Carlos Sainz, as he is at the end of lap 1. He was battling with my teammate Fernando Alonso. around the outside. Will Carlos Sainz seriously do Fernando around the outside of the final corner? Yes, he will. What a move there from the Spanish. There's a little bit of a Spanish civil war going here between Alonso and Sainz. Let's see if it'll last the whole race. Here we go. Alonso down the straight. Obviously, the Mercedes power unit in the back of the Aston Martin is really not too shabby. But the Aston's problem is drag, and I think that's most of the team's problems, because Red Bull have got a really good engine, but they've got so little drag on that car. It's almost impossible to keep up with them in a straight line. It's a drag race between Sainz and Alonso, heading into T3. Here we go, Alonso around the outside. Will he do what Sainz did to him? He cannot, because the rear end is stepping out as the tires are still getting up to proper temperature in these Season 1 cars. Into the air section that feels so good in these cars on F1 23. Sainz and Alonso are still side by side. This is starting off the Spanish Civil War very properly right now between Alonso and Carlos Sainz. Mentor versus a young buck. Here we go. Down into the downhill left-hander. Alonso on the inside. Will he do Sainz like he did Hamilton? No, he will not, as the Ferrari is very good on its tires at this stage of the race. And now Leclerc is getting involved in the second Ferrari, the number 16 car, into this very fast swooping S section. Alonso up the inside defends the inside from Leclerc, but he has lost out to Carlos Sainz. He's down to P6. It's still 2 positions up on his position when he's where he started. So as long as Fernando, even if he loses out to Leclerc, he stays with this front pack. That's all that matters. Perez was still putting me under severe pressure as he tried the Carlos Sainz move around the outside of the final corner, but I was having none of it, and this has opened the door for Max Verstappen and maybe even George Russell. Will we have 2-3 white moments into turn 1 for 2 laps in a row? Maybe not yet. We take a little bit of a defensive line just to dummy the Red Bulls, but go back to the racing line. Perez, Verstappen still side by side, but Max has to run out of turn 2 and turn 3. Sorry, this corner, the previous lap I said turn 3, this is now turn 4. But here comes George Russell, the young Brit in the Mercedes, side by side with Sergio Perez. What a beautiful move from the young Brit. Here we go. Through this next section, Perez keeps the position from Russell, but now it's Verstappen biting at my heels. We now look at Lando Norris as Charles Leclerc is trying to go up the inside of my teammate Fernando Alonso. There's so many overtakes happening, so much drama at this early point in the Grand Prix. But Lando Norris in this McLaren, which is supposedly to be the second slowest car on the grid, it's running with Alonso and Leclerc at this stage in the points with this McLaren. Beautiful racing here from Norris. He actually goes around the outside of my teammate and even tries a little bit of a move on Leclerc. But that Ferrari just has the edge through those few corners, and now Alonso just needs to hunker down and put his foot down and focus. I need him to be helping me here close to the front. Let's hope the Aston, as the fuel the fuel load gets lower, hopefully the Aston gets quicker, like in real life. But we'll have to wait and see. Perez and Verstappen are still fighting as we start lap 4 of this Bahrain Grand Prix right now. It's so good to see Aston Martin in the lead. I'm not going to lie to you guys. In the background, Alonso is trying to make a move on Norris as Perez is trying to take back P2 from his teammate Verstappen, but currently he is being unsuccessful, but they are still almost side by side. Here comes George Russell and even the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz behind. But guys, I am the bottleneck at this stage. I am keeping all these guys up, but remember, I'm on a 2-stop. If I can keep them behind me until I go to pit between lap 6 and lap 8, that would be the perfect scenario. As Hamilton has gotten himself now into the top 10, he's in P9 chasing after Lando Norris, and then when he overtakes Lando, oh no, wait, before we continue with Hamilton, there's drama in the Red Bull camp. Max Verstappen's engine has just gone up in smoke. That is heartbreaking for Red Bull. Are we having a repeat of the 2022 season IRL, where Verstappen DNF'd out of the first race? Oh my word, the defending world champion is out of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and now it's open gates.
Grip is probably dropping due to wear, so don't be too aggressive.
Thank you very much, Mark, for my question. Guys, I want you guys to hear Mark. But now it's open gates for Perez in the Red Bull camp to try and make a move on me. But you guys can see already my engineer is calling me in because these stops feel very second-hand right now. Here comes the Mercedes of George Russell, even the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Into turn 1, Sainz goes up the inside. Russell throws around the outside. I'm sandwiched in between the Ferrari and the Mercedes as they make mincemeat of Sergio Perez, but we keep it in the lead. But now I've got all these cars biting at my rear end. They can smell my gearbox oil. But here we go. Into the next corner. Sainz has a little bit of a chance move there, but the door is shut in his face. As Russell and Perez are still side by side, and George gets the better of the Mexican. What a move from George Russell. It's the end of lap 5, guys, and this is where I decided I'm going to have to pull the plug soon. These softs feel utterly horrible, but I can't do much right now to do anything, but I let Sainz go so that I have the DRS on the main straight. Hopefully we can repass the Spaniard, as my teammate Alonso is now up into P6. Hamilton is still stuck behind Norris in the McLaren, but here we go. DRS open, we go to the inside of Carlos Sainz. Will we get the move done? Hard on the brakes into turn 1, once again a little bit deep, but that is all we need to get ahead of the number 55 car. Beautiful move there. We now need to defend from Carlos as we go all the way to the inside of the track. Russell is still there, Perez is still there, and Leclerc and Alonso are going to join this battle very soon if we don't figure something out. Here goes Hamilton around the outside of Lando Norris. McLaren and Mercedes, two completely different cars at this stage of the season, and it's an easy move around the outside for the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. Guys, we come to the end of lap 6, and this is where I literally pulled the plug, guys. These tires felt terrible. I've done what I needed to do. I held them up for 6 laps. I still defend from Sainz into the final corner to make sure that these guys lose as much time as possible, and now it's into the pit lane for myself. Here we go. Guys, I'm going to be last on of the running cars right now because I don't think anybody else is on a 2-stop, and the normal 2-stop says they need to stretch the softs till lap 8. So only on lap 8, the end of the next lap, will we find out whether the other soft tire runners are going for a 1-stop or a 2-stop. But I've got a very sneaky suspicion that I am the only driver on a 2-stop today. But we're going to have to use it. We're in one of the fastest cars on the grid. What else can we do?
All right, we'll be doing one more stop today. 1 stop left in this strategy.
Thank you very much, Mark. We do understand the plan of action. And guys, this is where I noticed a massive thing that's so far very apparent in F1 22. Fresh tires make a massive difference. As soon as lap 8 started, I was lapping between half a second to a full second a lap quicker than the front runners. And yes, obviously it didn't help they were busy battling, but even normally the cars that weren't battling, I was catching them. The grip advantage with new tires is insane. I actually hope that Cody's don't patch it, because I think it's going to make races very interesting, but you never know with Codemasters, they might patch it. We now look at Alexander Albon in P11. Well, he was P11 before he did the Spinella. He went for some Ferrari inspiration. And Alex Albon is now down to P19, as we are now already on the back of Logan Sargent, guys, and it's only lap 10. It's only 4 laps after we've pitted, and we were 12 seconds behind. That's catching Logan Sargent and 3 seconds a lap. That is incredible pace out of fresh tires. I know the car has a big role to play, but that is not just up to the car. It's insane, and we've got some moves to make now. Will we go around the outside of Nick de Vries? That was so close to putting a move there. Honor the young Dutchman, but alas, we have to go to the inside and be on the brakes, give him a bit of a squeeze, and that is P16. But guys, honestly, this car felt like I literally strapped railroad tracks to the track and put rails on it. Rail runners, if I'm not sure. Anybody who knows trains. Oh my goodness! That was an insane dive on Oscar Piastri. What has gotten into me? What a move on Joe and Piastri. That was insane, guys. Sorry. But again, I do not have much knowledge about trains, so if you do, just let me know in the comments down below. Thank you very much. And just another insane move on Valtteri Bottas. Guys, that is the grip advantage that fresh tires bring you. And while overtaking, I've gone purple first sector. Let's have a replay of this. Oh my goodness. We're side by side with the Chinese driver, Guan Yu Zhou. And as I hit the brakes, it's just like, okay, Piastri leaves the door wide open. I've got so much overspeed, but yet still enough grip to slow the car down. It's a clean, easy move up the inside, no contact. And then this, Bottas just chilling, and I just take the esports line. I've got grip around the outside. Bottas can't get his power down, and I just absolutely school the fin around the outside. That felt damn good. Oh my great googly moogly, what a good feeling. Now guys, one thing while you guys quickly watch Leclerc and Perez battle on track that I have to mention, guys, this whole mist or fog type effect that's hanging over the track, I don't know what is going on. As far as what I could have gathered online, it's a glitch around Bahrain for this whole foggy feeling around the track. So I do apologize that some of the replay cameras are not going to be looking the best with this whole foggy glitch thing. I do apologize, but there is nothing that I can do about that. It's a glitch. I can't do anything about it. So from my side, apologies for that. But in any case, here we go. Up the inside of the Red Bull goes George Russell. I think actually Russell is defending from Perez, if I'm not mistaken. But Leclerc has broken away from the pack. Will we have a Ferrari victory in this first round of the season? That would be absolutely insane, considering how much faster Red Bull are currently. If Leclerc pulls this out of the bag, we are in for an absolutely insane season. And guys, I do it again. Another dive up the inside. This time it's upside the inside. It's upside. And oh my word, can I speak? Oh my goodness. It is up the inside of one of the Haas cars. I think that was Kevin Magnussen. But guys, the grip advantage, it's absolutely incredible. Look at the grip I have coming out of the corner compared to Pierre Gasly. There's nothing that Gasly can do in that Alpine, and we are sailing through these cars like they are standing still. Next on our list is Lando Norris, who's lost out to Kevin Magnussen, which is actually very sad. I hope Norris can get Magnussen back because he's been driving brilliantly so far. Up the inside, we do a Fernando Alonso. Up the inside of Lando Norris, guys, we pulled in Alonso, like Alonso did at the beginning of the year on Hamilton. What a move up the inside. Clearly my teammate is having the right inspiration at this stage of the season. Norris actually went wide. He got spooked by me coming up the inside and just went wide, which there was no contact. You guys can see here, it's the replay. No contact whatsoever. Lando just got spooked, went off track, and it completely opened the door for me. Thank you very much, Lando. By the end of lap 12, we are sitting right on the gearbox of the Haas of Kevin Magnussen, so the other Haas must have been Nico Hulkenberg. But DRS is open. We don't even have to use much ERS because the straight line speed is so overpowered with DRS. I wouldn't say overpowered, but it's properly powerful. And up the inside of the Dane we go, and that is now P8 for us in our Aston Martin. And hopefully when all these guys come into the pit like they are doing now, Leclerc is in. Will Russell follow him in, or is Russell going to go on? Russell is going on. Sainz is going on. Alonso is going with the top two at this stage. So, guys, even the soft tire runners, because obviously Perez has pit, but it wasn't long before this. Sorry, guys, I missed Perez's pit stop. But I think he only pitted on lap 11 or lap 12. So all these guys are going to the end on hard tires, either hards or mediums. Perez has decided on the mediums, so unless he's doing soft, medium, softs, which I highly doubt because those softs wear an incredible amount. And even though Perez went for the undercut, Leclerc is still ahead of him, and there's a McLaren in between them. And at this stage, it looks like Leclerc is going to put another car in between himself and Perez, which is going to be Nick de Vries in the AlphaTauri. But as I say that, Perez goes up the inside of Oscar Piastri, and there's still only one car in between them. But Leclerc is your net race leader, and him and Perez are on the faster tires. Here we go, it's still lap 14, Perez on the back straight, DRS, guys, and look at that. That is two cars with the exact same power unit. And look, and Perez just flew by de Vries as if he was literally standing still. That is insane. The end of lap 14, Russell is in, Sainz is in, Alonso is in, and it's going to be interesting to see where we come out in comparison to these guys. Obviously, Leclerc is not the net race leader. I am currently, but I've still got one stop to go. I take back the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we're now going to see how the top 8 shuffles out. Pierre Gasly is coming with me. He still has to make a pit stop, but he is not in our race. He's not in this leading race, as Leclerc is currently battling with the Chinese driver Guan Yu Zhou. And wow, Guan Yu Zhou actually put up a bit of a fight there. Don't know why. He's just costing himself and Leclerc time. But the Ferrari is more superior. Look in the background. Hamilton, freaking Piastri, and Carlos Sainz with 3 wide heading into the first corner. Alonso was right behind them. The racing is insane here at Bahrain. Oh my goodness. Like, this is honestly insane. Sainz gets up the inside of the McLaren as well as does Alonso. We now look at Hamilton as he goes up the inside of Nick de Vries, who is yet to make his pit stop. But I am absolutely flabbergasted. There goes Pierre Gasly. He's into the pit lane. There goes Nick de Vries. So now let's see how this is shaping up. But first of all, before we see how it's shaping up, Alonso, Hamilton, Sainz, 3-1 heading into turn 1. Hamilton has joined the Spanish Civil War, but he feels like an outsider. He is behind them, and Sainz gets back ahead of Alonso. Oh my word. But the running currently is myself, Leclerc, Perez, Russell, then Sainz, Alonso, Hamilton, Ocon, Magnussen and Gasly. Norris has fallen away a bit, which is sad. He's down to P12, but great race so far from the two Haas cars. Battling with Alpine. They are not on the Alpine's level in my opinion. So well done from Hülkenberg and Magnussen. As Alonso and Sainz, as we are now on to lap 18, are still battling. Alonso refuses to give this up, and this is the type of pressure and motivation we need for this season, because guys, our aim for the season is P2 and the constructors. I don't care where me and Alonso end up in the drivers. It's still only the first season. Drivers' Championship does not matter to me, but we have to be second in the constructors after Red Bull, because they are the benchmark. They are the team to beat. Now, finally, guys, end of lap 19. The start of lap 19. It is time for our second and final pit stop. And guys, I stretched these mediums 2 laps longer than I wanted to, because I could see. I realized when they started to underperform, when my lap times started to go slower and slower and slower. So when they fell off, so now we are on these mediums to push all the way for the final 10 laps.
Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound.
Thank you, Mark. That is all understood. It is Esteban Ocon trying to go around the outside. Kevin Magnussen. But we don't allow the Haas driver, the Dane. No way, Jose. We are now playing catch up. And guys, we've got a long way to catch up to. I know we were in the lead. I know we are trying to go for a podium. But with 10 laps to go, and what's that? 7 positions to gain to win this race. And Leclerc being in a world of his own, that is going to be easier said than done. But guys, the civil war is still continuing. Alonso and Sainz are inseparable for this race, and it is so entertaining to watch. Ahead of them, you've got Russell and Perez battling. Alonso and Sainz have dropped Hamilton, though, so that's interesting to see the Mercedes' pace currently. But it's going to be interesting to see who gets second between Russell and Perez. But currently, Sainz stays ahead of Alonso. And onto lap 22, we have finally caught up the 6.5 seconds that we had to Ocon. And we are now going to go for a very nice dive from up the inside of the middle sector hairpin. Easy move up the inside. Guys, once again, fresh tires, fresh grip. I was setting fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap every damn time, and this is now us catching up to the back of Lewis Hamilton only 1 lap later. DRS is open. We pull to the inside of the 7-time world champion. There's not much that Lewis can do. It is now into the braking zone, and we have the grip advantage. Easy claps up the inside of the Mercedes, as now we are sitting pretty behind our teammate Fernando Alonso. And guys, at this stage, I'm at peace with the fact that a win is out of the question, but Russell and Perez are not too far up the road, and our pace advantage, like you guys saw at the end of our first stint, was absolutely insane. We give Alonso a little bit of a small, tiny kiss there on his rear end as we go into the downhill left-hander. We go to the outside. Alonso is not making this too hard. He tries to fight it, but those old hards compared to these fresh mediums, there's no comparison. And by the end of lap 25, as we've got to start lap 26 now, all who's left is Carlos Sainz. We pull to the outside. We blast past the Spaniard. Well, not completely. That Ferrari is damn quick in a straight line. It's not a Red Bull, but it is still damn decent. Up the inside, well, around the outside of Carlos, that is an easy P4. And now we jump towards the man who is leading this race, who is pulling such a sheet over our eyes, because this is just confusing me when it comes to the performance index. Charles Leclerc starts the final lap of the first race of Season 1 on F1 23 career mode. Leclerc is leading the Bahrain Grand Prix. Russell in P2 ahead of Perez. What happened to the Red Bull's race pace? They were so quick in those first 10 laps, and then as soon as they were in dirty air, they just didn't shape. We are going to settle for P4, unfortunately, guys. I was still pushing, quali lap pace at this stage, trying to catch Perez, but there was just no time left, unfortunately. But it's myself P4, Sainz P5, Hamilton is P6. He caught up to Alonso and unfortunately overtook Alonso. Ocon is in P8 with the second Alpine of Gasly in P9 as he has overtaken the Haas of Nico Hülkenberg. Unfortunately, guys, I also missed Kevin Magnussen's retirement, but he had a very similar engine failure to Verstappen. But there's still going to be points for Haas today as Hülkenberg's in P10. But guys, this man, as soon as he got into the lead and broke the DRS, Leclerc has been the guy to beat. His pace has been exceptional. And honestly, I know Verstappen had no control over his engine failure, but Ferrari and Mercedes have pulled Red Bull's pants down today. Because, I mean, Red Bull were the ones that were almost a shoe-in to win this. But looky at the cookie. Charles Leclerc rounds the final corner and he wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. What a performance from Leclerc. Russell will take P2, Perez P3, and we're going to come home in a very, very satisfying P4. But what this race has taught me is that we've got a lot of work to do.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again. Let's have a quick impressive result day of racing. Who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Let's move on to the constructors. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Guys, I'm sure with you combined with me, we are definitely going to be back. Guys, what an opening race of the season. Guys, the one thing that's a bonus is we took fastest lap, so we've got 13 points instead of 12. Alonso got his 6, but Ferrari are leading the constructors. Red Bull are 4th. The team we thought was going to run away with this race are 4th. Ferrari on 35 points, Mercedes on 26. We are on 19 at Aston Martin. And I mean, we need to beat Ferrari and Mercedes this season. Red Bull on 15 with Perez's lonesome P3. This is absolutely incredible. I mean, two drivers that I feel for are Lando Norris and Kevin Magnussen with, Lando just falling away because the McLaren is just that slow, and Magnussen with his retirement. Luckily, Hülkenberg came through for Haas, and Lando tried his best, but P12 was the best that he could muster up. But guys, I mean, what a race. So many overtakes, so much action, so much drama with Verstappen DNFing. This has opened up so much already in a 16-race season. I mean, and next we're going to Albert Park in Australia. There's a lot of upgrades already coming onto our car, but I'm sure teams like Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull are going to be doing the exact same. And once again, don't count out Alpine and don't count out McLaren. Anything and everything is possible. But guys, one race down, one episode in the books, and we've still got 15 to go just for season 1. But guys, honestly, I'm gonna say it again, I'm back. I'm back and it feels so damn good to be back. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end. You guys are so freaking amazing. I can't get enough of you guys. Like, this is just an absolute dream come true. And again, guys, I know I don't have hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, but making content for you guys doesn't just make me happy, it gives me satisfaction. And like I said from day one, this is the dream. And whether it's with F1 content, with vlogs or whatever, YouTube is the dream. But I am loving every second of sharing my passion for gaming and Formula One with you guys. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying to the end. Please make sure to go check out the links in the description down below. Guys, please, I have linked the other 2 episodes in the description down below. The first Breaking Point episode, which is already live, as well as the Las Vegas and Qatar, the 2 new circuits to the game, as well as my first impressions and drive of them. So please go check those ones out in the description down below. Then, guys, if you haven't liked the video yet, what are you doing? I don't know what will earn your like more after an action-packed first race like this. I mean, seriously. So please drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you a nifty 2 seconds. And if this is your first time viewing Turbo Fox Races and you have not yet subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe down below and don't forget to ding that bell to never ever miss a future video here on Formula One. I wish, on Turbo Fox Races. Guys, lots of F1 content in the pipeline. Some vlogs coming hopefully soon if all my plans work out. And some Gran Turismo 7 content is also in the pipeline. Guys, you guys have been amazing. And on to Albert Park. There's a lot of work to do for us at Aston, especially now that we see how fast Ferrari and Mercedes are, and obviously Red Bull are still there. But we've got this. We've got Nando on our side. Let's do this. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers!